hear me okay? And we're super excited and happy that so many of you guys have been able to join today and see all the student produced proposals, enjoy some networking sessions, as well as an incredible opening speech from Jasmine. So it is my pleasure to introduce Manasa Gummalla, a program manager at Big Idea Ventures. She's going to give us a little background on Big Idea Ventures, as well as the sponsored Big Idea Ventures Award for this year's hackathon event. So with that, Gummalla or Manasa, you can take it away.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Sean. Really great to see you all on this lovely Saturday afternoon. I'm based in New York City and had a great start to my morning, and I am really excited to be here with everyone today. A little bit of background on Big Idea Ventures. We run the world's largest new protein accelerator fund. We're a venture fund and accelerator program. Our first fund was 50 million, really allocated to removing the human reliance on the animal food chain. We actually have a second fund called Generational Food Rural Partners, where we partner with the USDA and really take a venture incubation method to producing companies that will impact ag tech in the United States and beyond. So happy to chat about any of those two funds after. I will share my email with Sean so he can share with you guys as well. Always happy to connect. So a brief agenda, I'll be introducing the accelerator, telling you a little bit more about Big Idea Ventures, our background, our relationships with the ecosystem, and give a little bit more information on the BIV awards. And we'll do a brief Q&A if anyone has any questions for me or about BIV. Just some background on myself. My name's Manasa. My background's really in early stage venture and healthcare. As many of you, I was passionate about the early stage ecosystem. My first job out of college was at this artificial intelligence laboratory. It was a collaboration between Ray Dalio and Weill Cornell Medicine. So really got to see a startup be incubated from the ground up through research, and fell in love with that. Ended up working part-time at this venture fund called Steel Sky Ventures that focused on women's health and femtech. From there, went to work at my alma mater, Michigan State's venture fund, really in an associate capacity. It was a small team of 4, so worked on everything from writing some of those safe or convertible note instruments to presenting different deals to IC. Always wanted to return to venture in an impact role, and that brought me to Big Idea Ventures about 10 months ago. And so have been a program manager mainly focused on our follow-on investments and the accelerator program itself in New York City. So a little bit background on myself. Again, as I mentioned, our first fund was 50 million. And about 40 million of that is deployed. There's 10 million left for follow-on funding. So if you're a portfolio company and our top performing portfolio companies get follow-on for up to 3 million a company. Our second fund, New Protein Fund 2, will be an extension of New Protein Fund 1, and that's launching, crossing my fingers, in a few weeks. What really differentiates us is that we are a global program. We're based in New York City, Paris, and Singapore. So it's really amazing to just see the different regulatory concerns and markets play out in these 3 accelerator programs. And we're happy to be able to help everyone sort of assimilate and adjust to these regulatory environments. As you all know, food and ag tech is a very culturally charged topic. So it's interesting to see different companies have to see what they can do to get halal certified or kosher certified. And we are specialized, so we like to offer a curated experience. It is a different program if you are a CPG company or an ingredients company or an enabling technology company. We like to offer one-on-one support along with our mentorship program that's very much curated for the type of sector you're in. These are just a few of the sectors that we like to invest in: plant-based foods, fermentation-based technologies, cultivated meat. We have a very interesting pipeline of cultivated seafood that we're looking at right now, enabling technologies, so CDMOs and bioreactors that can really help scale some of these companies, along with ingredients. One of our portfolio companies called Melibio, they're a plant-based honey and are eventually will be a precision fermentation based honey. They just landed in 11 Madison Park, which is a 2 Michelin star in New York City. So that's really exciting for us. And we're also looking to see how cell cultivated and fermentation based technologies can be applied in other industries such as coffee and cacao. And it's been really interesting to see that specifically in the Latin American market. Our Food Tech Accelerator program is twice a year. Our investment is 200K, but 125K of that is cash and 75 of that is in-kind services. And so that's the initial investment. As I mentioned, for our top performers, we can follow on up to 3.5 million. Our follow-on investment check sizes typically range from 250K to 750K. Our initial investment is via safe instrument, but following that, we like to do priced rounds and typically convertible notes, but I know that differs from location to location. What do we look for? And these are just sort of broad strokes. We look for unique IP, big ideas, early stage companies and founders really looking just to change the environment and remove this human reliance on the animal food chain. But that can come in so many different ways. In our last cohort, we had 2 cultivated fat companies. We had a CDMO based in Europe who's looking to scale across the world. So it's really interesting to see the different types of companies that come into our cohorts. The schedule for our next cohort will begin mid-May and range for 5 months. And then the cycle goes on as we complete the program twice a year. And I would love to talk a little bit about our corporate ecosystem. So the first fund was funded by these different limited partners. And we believe that it helps differentiate us because not only can we provide an investment and an early check in these companies, but we can also partner with our LPs and help bring out some of these earlier technologies to the broader market. Givaudan and Bueller are always taking calls with companies or inviting them to their laboratory space in Europe. Bell is looking for new fermentation-based cheese alternatives or any technologies that they can incorporate or help support. Temasek is a Singaporean sovereign wealth fund, and Singapore is just so advanced in terms of the technologies they're looking to in the food technology ecosystem. So it's been really great to just be able to partner with them and see how their regulatory landscape has really transformed through the years. And I can give you a little bit more information about sort of the accelerator program. This slide deck will be shared with everyone, but if anyone wants to apply now or in the future, they are free to. This is our global reach of our current portfolio companies. The majority of them are based in the United States because that's where we had originally launched in New York, but now there is a farther reach in Europe, in South Africa. A lot of the companies we're looking at in the pipeline for the next few cohorts are in Latin America as we see that market expand. So that's very exciting. And something that we think about as venture and just the startup ecosystem is really changing is how we can make an impact. And one of the things that we're very proud about is that over 50% of our startups identify as female founders. I think the statistic in America, at least the last time I checked, was that 11% of the startups that were derived in the past year were female founded. So it's really great that we have a larger breakdown. And we actually recently partnered with a startup called Cara, where we're looking into the ESG impact along with diversity metrics and team metrics of all of our companies. So it's something that we take really seriously, and we try to prioritize as we're building out these next generation of food tech companies. And along with our limited partners, we have different educational partners, corporate partners, distribution partners. We partner with GFI, which is the major nonprofit in the sector. And we really want to ensure that we're able to provide resources to our startups at whatever stage they're at, whether it's pre-seed to Series A, and maybe making introductions to large scale-up companies such as the Ricardo Group, who does Bon Appetit. And these are just very interesting different corporates and strategic partners that we have. And so the award here is Intimate Accelerated Call into the BIV Deal Flow Pipeline. Our pipeline is usually a few 300 to 400 companies deep at this point. So you get to skip that line and have a call with our analyst and me, and we will really dig into the company, the idea, the sector, and work through the strengths and weaknesses and what our recommendations are, and you'll enter the deal flow pipeline. The way that we view that is it's an open call as your technology and company evolves, and you can reach out to us whenever. If there's a fit for the accelerator program, great. If not, there is always a fit at a later stage too. Some companies that we took in our last cohort were too early at different points, but have now really surpassed our expectations and their own expectations in our leading Series A and Series B rounds. So it's always exciting to see how people transform through the years. And with that, I would love to open it up to a Q&A, and feel free to chat any questions in the comments. If not, we can move on to the next part of the pitch day. Okay, so from Jasmine, how do you think the timeline for cell ag in developing nations will progress? You know, it's really interesting. I think that we're starting to see a lot more government support from different sectors. One of our companies is based in South Africa, and we'll start seeing local initiatives that will then scale up into larger state and country initiatives. So I think it's starting to be expedited as people see the detrimental effects of climate change. So especially in America, even our fund, Generational Food Rural Partners, we're partnering with the USDA to make sure that we can focus on this. And that's really exciting. And we focus on that through our second fund, not New Protein Fund 1, but Generational Food Rural Partners. So I see. Yes, we are looking to drive investment, specifically through venture incubation.
Okay. So if there's any other questions, I guess now's your time to ask. Otherwise, please join me in thanking Manasa for her time today, and thank you so much to Biv for participating in this year's hackathon and sponsoring an award. So please give a virtual round of applause. And again, thank you, Manasa. Have a great weekend.
Likewise, and then Sean, feel free to distribute the deck and my email for anyone who wants to connect.
Certainly.